Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. Do not forget to subscribe. The Golf and the 996 out there are in need of a clean, especially the Golf. And I'm using that opportunity to take a look at two products which are essentially wet products that you use after you've washed the car, when you're drying it, to add protection, help drying, and shine up the panels and all that sort of good stuff. The first product we're looking at today is the winner of the spray and rinse best of video that I did many years ago, Gyeon Wet Coat. So this is an instant hydrophobicity booster. It's a silica-based product that you spray on after cleaning, and the car's still got the rinse water, the clean rinse water after you've rinsed off the shampoo. You spray it on the panel like one mist or something. People are paranoid about using too much every time you use it. But you've used too much. I always get that. But I never really have a problem with it. You do have to be careful about using too much. You spray it onto the panel and you kind of sort of blast it off, if you like, and then towel down the car. Well, that's how I use it. That's how the instructions kind of say. Yeah, quick and efficient, self-cleaning properties. This is the reason this product won my spray and rinse test many years ago, because it was the one on the panel that still beaded before you cleaned it. All the other ones tended to get clogged up, and it really advertised like 5 or 6 star rating self-cleaning. We think, well, they would do, it's their brand. But some of the other ratings in there, they put like 1 star, like durability or whatever, you know. So they weren't afraid to put 1 star in it. It was more of a guide to tell you about it. But I saw self-cleaning with it. So I thought I thought maybe when you actually see some of this technology actually work, it kind of impresses you. And I think it beads like crazy. It also sort of sets, I think, and has hardening agents in it. So you get this thin layer of SI or silica material over the car, water-based thing. It's not a ceramic coating, obviously. And yeah, it just leaves a really nice, smooth, silky finish on the panel. This product costs £15 for 500 ml. Let's move on to the next one. Autoglym Rapid Aqua Wax. This product costs $19.99 at Halfords roughly, although right now it's $15.99, but I can't do sale prices, so a little bit more expensive at its normal retail price. I think it's about 21 something on the Autoglym site. It's always a bit cheaper in Halfords. It comes with 2 microfiber cloths and a box in a kit. So in very simple terms, you're paying really about 15 quid for the product, probably a couple of quid for each microfiber, and maybe a quid for the packaging. Part of me thinks that they should just sell this product on its own as a bottle, because that's what people want, because they might not want the Autoglym microfiber. But I do believe they sell this now in a 2.5 litre offering, which will always give you better value. And again, these have got bulk offerings as well. So if you like either product, then go for the bulk. But to give you a quick layman's comparison, these two products, £15, roughly £20, so £5 more for that. That's the price comparison. These microfiber towels from Autoglym, they're reasonably good quality and nice microfiber, but they are lower GSM, so they're quite a floppy towel. And after you've washed them, that border, the towel tends to pull in, and then it won't have that lovely brand new flatness that you have. So an edgeless towel, you know, buffing with the stitched edge as well. Some detailers like edgeless. So I don't think the Autoglym microfiber is the best on the market. It's not the worst though, and it's kind of like part of their brand heritage, so I doubt they're going to change that. Let's move on to some of the things about both of these products, guys. Now, I'm just going to jump to a clip of applying them both where I talk about them, and then I'll come back in. Boom. Okay, so usage test 1. Shake up the bottle nice. You know, a lot of you are going to panic that we're using too much, but we're going to try and stick to roughly a light mist a little bit further back onto the wet panel. Just a little bit there on the roof as well, okay? Right, a little bit down there. Normally always have this gun in your hand. You can put a bit more on then. When you rinse it, yeah, I mean, that is really impressive. If you're ever getting tons of white residue coming off, you've definitely put too much on, but yeah, that white residue. That is now beading like crazy. See, like before, see the water was just like, there was a little bit of remnants of some protection on there, but that is really all you have to do with this. You get nice coverage. You get nice coverage from the sprayer, and it just mists out over that entire wet panel. And then you can just take a microfiber cloth, because it's all hydrophobic. It just dries off even with a cloth. This isn't the best cloth, it's not brand new. See, but it still picks up all that water. You can dry your car with a microfiber cloth, yeah. You will need to go just back over it to get it bone dry. But you could literally take one wet cloth, get all that water off the majority of the panels, and then come back with another one and dry that car off. Didn't get any there. Probably want to avoid wiping, because this cloth has got all the material in it, so you probably want to avoid using that wet cloth on the windscreen. And now you can get those panels bone dry. Yeah, shiny. What I like about this product is it's slick and smooth on the paintwork. I've never had any problems with this product, but you can't break the rules with it, really. Sorry, it's just easy. It's just a quick, easy way. Right, that's such a quick, easy way. Look at that. This is terrible paint. Yeah, I really like this product. Okay, so that's the wet coat, so we know it's pretty easy to use. No streaking if you use it properly. Really beady and smooth. Let's move on to the Autoglym. Okay, so we're onto the Autoglym. We've just got like pooling water, so again the remnants of protection. We'll shake the bottle. I think it says 2 to 3 sprays per panel, something like that. Yeah, 2 to 3 sprays per panel. 1 microfiber to spread. 1 microfiber to spread, buff to a shine with a second. So you don't rinse with this, which is interesting. I'm sure you could. So let's turn her on, shake it up, get her going. So let's just work panel by panel, 2 to 3. So 1, 2, 3. And a squirt. So we take our first cloth. Oh, Jesus. Swines, they're doubled over, sorry. Should have been prepared. Sorry. Just going to fold this into the 4-way fold. Here we go. So we just spread that product out. This is brand new microfiber. Forgive the sniffing, I always get hay fever this time of year. Yeah, because it's brand spanking new, it's a bit more absorbent. And what we'll do, oh, we haven't applied it there, have we? So that's our wet cloth. And we can go back over this panel just to get off that streaking there where it hasn't got it bone dry. It's feeling good though, this as well. It's feeling nice. Yeah, not quite as slick. Well, I don't know though. I don't know. It feels okay. It feels good. It feels slick and shiny. So let's carry on around the car. 2, 3. We'll just put some on that skirt. I'll do this whole section. I find it interesting. It's not, strictly speaking, a spray and rinse, this Autoglym. But you just get that wax on the surface, spread it all over. Again, it is rapid. Even having that wax there just makes the water pick up a lot easier. There we go, and I'll just wipe that screen off, that glass off. These products do just this makes a lot of sense. Like you could obviously, it's almost like a quick detail the way I'm using this. Spray on, spread, wipe. And that second wipe is just to get any streak marks off or any you know, watermarks, if you like. I am seeing a line of product there. Let's just buff that in. That's easy to use. That's an absolute doddle as well. And it's just shined up my panels. So on the surface of it, they both do a very similar thing. I've got to get this panel wet again to have a look at the beadage. So we should have good coverage on that wing. So let's have a look how it beads. Oh yeah, that's good as well. Must have missed a bit there. And that's a good level of hydrophobicity. I remember that, I've tested this product before. The Autoglym product actually beads well, which is cool for kind of what's described as a wax-based product. But so if you were to spray and rinse it, you're probably not getting the most out of it because you're not following the instructions, but you can then just go back, dry. This towel's wet now, but it still works. Or have I done that the wrong way around? I don't know. I think I might have done that the wrong way around. But you can still get the panel dry even with even the wet cloth. These products are good. They just make a lot of sense, and they're so rapid. I could do both of my cars with I could do my car with this all the time. It just makes complete sense to me. I'm back. Okay, so the first thing is, if you use these products on a car that's clean with standing water and you miss them onto the panel and you don't go crazy and the panels aren't hot, you should have zero problems applying either of these products. I'm familiar with both of them, and I will say now, Geon are very cautious about using this in sunlight and heat. I believe Autoglym are the same, I think, but perhaps not so cautious. In fact, I don't even think it mentions using it there in the sunlight. So I would suggest from using both of them that the Autoglym is slightly more forgiving, slightly more sun friendly, and the wet coat, if you spray it on and your panels aren't wet, you know, they're not, or there's less water on them, and that panel is in the sunshine, and today is a really hot day, but it's very early in the morning, so it's not hot sun. I was in the shade, so don't panic. But there is a higher risk when the panel's warm of this setting before you've had a chance to wash it with the water. So mitigate that by not using it in the sunshine or hot sunshine, you know, where the panels are warm. Also mitigate that by spraying and rinsing immediately if you want to, like a little mist over that wet panel and then spray. You will not have a problem. You're toweling afterwards as well, so any residues which are kind of have been thinned down and sprayed, you're going to also buff those into the kind of panel. So I find this very forgiving. Some people do say that it's streaky and they have problems with it. I've never had a problem with this, but it's been reported enough times that perhaps it's very potent, and yeah, if you're not careful with it, you might have some streaking issues. If you do have streaking issues, you just wipe it with panel wipe, you know, IPA and water, and just kind of thin it down again. But yeah, I've personally never had a problem with Gyeon Wet Coat. I think it's a really good product. The Autoglym, when you use it, feels a lot more waxy. There's a big fundamental difference between these, that this goes, you spray this on and you blast it straight away to spread it. The Autoglym, you spray it on, you spread it with one microfiber towel and you buff it with another. Okay, so that you can't do the spray and rinse application with this. It's a spray, spread and buff with two towels. Now, that's a really important point, because really with the Geon Wet Coat, you're going to benefit from using this with a pressure washer. This one, it won't matter if you use a pressure washer because you're not blasting it as such as spreading it and buffing it. So that's a big consideration for anyone looking to buy these products. Are you going to want to using the rinse with the pressure washer, or are you going to be washing your car with just a hose? So the Autoglym has it on that little versatility thing, whereas this benefits you from having that pressure washer. That push from the pressure washer helps reduce any chance of this streaking if you haven't got that push with the hose, perhaps. In terms of hydrophobicity, guys, both of these products will bead up on the panel. Both of them are impressive. The Autoglym is impressive because that product's been around for a while, but it still adds really good hydrophobicity to the car. I would describe the hydrophobicity level to these as probably like an 8 out of 10. It varies on how much you put on and how you apply it and how you get the coverage and what's on there before. But basically, if you're interested in either of these two products, know that they will bead up a lot on your car. Here's another massive thing for anyone considering this. I believe that the Geon product is a better product if you have a ceramic coated car because of the self-cleaning. I also believe if you've got coated alloy wheels, that a little spritz of Gyeon Wet Coat in the alloys that then hardens off, bonds well with any ceramic coating, gives you that kind of boosting to hydrophobicity. So if I had a coated car, I would definitely opt for Gyeon Wet Coat over the Autoglym product. The Autoglym product is wax-based, carnauba wax-based, I believe it says on the product label. It must have some other material in there, you know, maybe some siloxane, who knows. That gives you a lovely shine when you've got wax on your car. Now, the difference is if you apply the Geon Wet Coat excessively and you don't rinse properly or whatever and it's hot, you might get patches like leopard skin patches that you can see in certain light, or when you wipe over that panel after you've applied with a damp microfiber, it can show up the patches if you've not spread it and then buffed it in properly. That's the risk with the wet coat. The risk with the Autoglym Aqua Wax is when it's wax based, if you hurl it on, it can be harder to buff out and it can leave wax holograms. So you do, again, want to be careful with the Autoglym Rapid Aqua Wax and just follow those instructions, and 2 mists on the panel, you'll be fine. If you hurl it on, you can risk the little kind of greasy holograms, which then you probably need to just, if you've got them and you've washed your car and you see it afterwards in the sun, just go and get a completely clean towel or buffing cloth and just go and wipe them off. If it's set too much, you could just use a little bit of IPA water mix, something like that, to just shine them or just break them down a little bit and then buff them into the panel. Yeah, not a major problem with the Autoglym, but they've both got their risks, but they're slightly different risks if you understand what I'm saying. In terms of durability with these products, Geon, I think, claimed about 2 months with this, or it said 2 months on the Polish Bliss website. I'm not sure what the durability claims of the Rapid Aqua Wax are, but many years ago when we tested Rapid Aqua Wax, I think it was back in the Pro Detailers one, it was actually more durable than you would expect. And I think products which really bead up well and bond rapidly like this tend to offer a decent amount of durability. So I think you'll probably get 2 months out of the Autoglym as well. Some people say it doesn't last that long. Wax-based don't tend to compete with the other ones, but the bottom line is, because these products are drying aid products essentially, spray and rinse, spray and buff when wet, etc. They're really there to just make drying the car easier and add protection at the same time, and they're a time saver. So the fact that they last 2 months isn't that important. You put them on, they bead like crazy. That's the important thing. And then when you could really, I mean, they're quite powerful, and I'm not sure if you'd want to be using them every wash. And, you know, you could just use a detail spray. But that's the difference between these perhaps and just a pure detail spray, is they might be a little bit potent to use every single time, potentially. So self-cleaning, Geon has it. For use with ceramic coating, Geon has it. For use in the sun, Autoglym has it. Yes. For non-pressure washer, Autoglym has it. For professional use, very interesting. I think professional detailers, especially ones that are doing coatings, will opt for wet coat. But I think in like a rapid detailing environment, like a wash place where the cars are coming in thick and fast, they probably won't want to spray on and rinse off again, because they'll have already rinsed off the shampoo. So it's another set of rinse, it's more water, and then buff. So they'll have a wet car and they'll go over and like crazy, working like 10 to the dozen, spray the Aqua Wax on and buff it down to a shine. Those guys will prefer that, but I think detailers might prefer that if they're into their coatings. We talked about wax trails versus leopard skin. Overall, I'll give you a summary of these two products. This product, for an old girl that's been around for a while, is as beady as pretty much most of them. One thing I haven't said actually, sorry, just before I conclude, if you're interested in value, you perhaps wouldn't go for either of these products. Something like Koch Chemie Protector Wax is a similar product. You buy a litre of it for $22.95, you take 30 ml of it and it makes a litre of this type of product that you can spray on and rinse off. Might not quite be as speedy or potent, but the value proposition when you can mix down a litre for 30 ml is incredible. So the review, I think, has to tell you that. If you're really interested in value, check out Koch Chemie Protector Wax. A bottle of that at home will last you years and years and years. These are for the ones, guys, that want it all ready to go, want that intense beading and are less worried about value. Back to the Autoglym product. For an old girl, this has a really blingy level of beading. It shines up nice on the panel. As well as using it on nice cars, this is ideal for when I want to wash my car, the Golf, in 5 minutes, like as an afterthought of washing the Porsche. I'm like, I better do the Golf. Quickly throw snow foam on it, mash up all the snow foam into the paint, because I don't care about swirling, the paint's falling off it. Blast it all down, get the Rapid Aqua Wax down, dry it all out, and I can have that car shiny, not properly cleaned, in 5 minutes, which suits me down to the ground because it's falling to bits. You could do the same with the Wet Coat as well. Both of them are really rapid. They're just good products, guys. A little bit of criticism. I don't like having to buy or pay for the microfiber cloths with the kit and the box. It's a nice touch, but I just think this product should be on the shelf of Halfords just like that. The kit is not really required, and then they could get the price down so that its normal RRP would be £15 and that would match that, and then you could do your deals on it where you do it for like 11 or 12 quid, and I think it's a really good product if it was ever been on sale at 11 or 12 quid. So yeah, Autoglym is pretty solid. We've done its strengths and weaknesses. Wet Coat is pretty solid. It's a modern spray and rinse sealant that gives you that self-cleaning and that compatibility with coatings because of that self-cleaning. And the technology of it is different. It's not a wax-based kind of cocktail with siloxane in it. It's a clever material which hardens off. If you remember back in the day, this was in a clear bottle, and the top of it, where the material gets exposed to air, would harden off, and you'd get like a ring of fire around there, and then hard bits and lumps in the bottle from hardening off, and everyone used to panic and say, oh, my product's gone bad. Well, it's just the nature of the beast, and it doesn't affect the product. Those bits don't come into it, you know. So I think this is kind of quite a clever speciality material that's different, and it comes from Korea, so it's not the same chemistry as all the stuff that the kind of UK industry kind of uses. So Wet Coat, yeah, very popular product, good reputation. Which one edges it? Yeah, I think probably the Wet Coat edges it, but it really wouldn't matter. If I had Autoglym UHD wax down on this car, I would probably go with this because it's wax on wax. If I had a coating down, I would go with the Wet Coat, or if I had some SI sealant, I'd go with the Wet Coat, and I'd go with a Wet Coat to top up protection on my alloys. I wouldn't use wax, if I had a choice on the alloys. So hopefully, guys, that gives you a good idea of the strengths and weaknesses of both products. Yeah, these products are very popular for a reason, that even if the layman's guy takes them, doesn't know much about them or hasn't used them before, the layman's guy that's using a drying aid like spray sealant like this for the first time will just be, oh God, this is easy. This is really easy. This is the way forward. The what's the word? Aficionado, the connoisseur, I've forgotten the word. The guys that are really into it and really fussy about finish, for a show finish, they might look at these products. If you've got like a show car and you've really gone over and glazed that out or done a finishing polish, they would be slightly cautious of these products because of that element of the of not getting a perfect buffed out film that in certain lights you can see. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this. I think these products will be popular with you guys. There's another caveat. We'll try and cover everything. There are millions of them on the market and they're all pretty good. I think most of the brands now get the idea that they need to be potent and hydrophobic, well emulsified, affordable. Important with these products to have decent trigger sprays as well. I didn't have any problem with the sprays on either of these. They seem to have missed it out fine, but they're probably not the highest quality spray triggers on the market, but they seem to be, they didn't cause many problems. But if you get a dodgy cheap sprayer that's sort of honking and not through putting the chemical, that could ruin your product experience. Brands realise that. They also realise they need to be potent, they need to bond rapidly, and people want to see the beading back, and they're getting, so most of them are sort of moving towards that direction. And yeah, they're all pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned to the Forensics Detailing channel. That one I think can also be used dry as well as wet, because it says, it kind of infers on it. It says this product can even be used wet somewhere on the thing. Yeah. Can be applied directly to a wet vehicle after watching, but it kind of implies you could use this dry. I have used it dry before, but I think following the instructions, use it as a drying aid is best bet. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon on the Forensics Detailing channel. Bye for now. Do.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?